Hi everyone, welcome to our annual Top 10 Games of the Year 2022 edition. If you don't know me, my name's ASSASSINA-san. Welcome back to my channel. I've been doing this for the past few years and it's really fun. But I will openly admit, I didn't like too many games that came out this year. The ones I liked, I really liked. And then the rest were kind of okay. And there were a lot of disappointments, but we'll get into that later. For now, let's talk about my top 10, and I will be clear about the games that I haven't played, the games I didn't finish, and the games that I really didn't like. So let's start with number 10, which is Metal Hellsinger. This is a rhythm FPS that has a Doom aesthetic. It has fast kinetic gunplay and you shoot to the beat of metal music. Fuck yeah, dude. Shooting demons to the beat of metal music had me headbanging for hours. My only complaint is the environments didn't vary enough and sometimes the calibration fell off. Metal Hellsinger might be one of my favorite rhythm games, and that final boss fight was one of the coolest things I've ever experienced in the game. It was metal as fuck. Number 9 is a game that I actually didn't finish and I just started playing like a few days ago, Vampire Survivors. I've only played a few hours of this game and it's amazing that you can just pick it up, have a blast with it for a few minutes, put it down and pick it up again at any time without feeling like you lost progress. It's amazing how a game with such an incredibly simple button scheme can have such an intricate and complex gameplay loop, constantly unlocking different abilities to create a bullet heaven experience, so to speak, is super rewarding and very fun. I can't wait to play more. Number 8 really hits the nostalgia button. It's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge. This game is perfect. It's just straight up fun, bringing me back to the days of playing TMNT Turtles in Time on the couch with friends. The music, the animation, and the combat is just so fun. It's just a game that's hard not to love, but it doesn't do anything that makes a Game of the Year worthy, and it really doesn't need to. Number 7 is actually a game I'm surprised didn't wind up higher on my list, but I just didn't vibe with it as much as I hoped, and it was actually my second most anticipated game of 2022 and wound up at number 7, and that is Horizon Forbidden West. This game really set the bar for amazing facial animations and graphics. The world is gorgeous, and there were some interesting story moments. In the end though, I was a bit disappointed with the story direction and the dialogue became a slog to listen through. I also became fatigued at the open world structure, which felt very Ubisoft-liked, and it had lots of bloat that didn't really feel too relevant to the world. Thankfully, the combat and enemy designs are still fun as hell, and even the new robot creatures were amazing to experience. The only thing holding the combat back for me from being perfect is the unnecessarily deep RPG systems that bog it down. I feel like Horizon is just another example of a game that leans too deep into RPG mechanics, but it's an action-adventure game, and I feel like if it would lean more into the action-adventure elements of its gameplay, it would be so much better. Number 6 is a game that had such an impactful story and cinematic experience that I'm probably never gonna forget it, and that's A Plague Tale Requiem. Cinematically, this game is gorgeous with some really amazing locations. It also brings back hardcore stealth gameplay, which is a bit of a dying genre. It's fun using your arsenal to sneak past and kill enemies, but because this game was much longer than its predecessor, A Plague Tale Innocence, it wound up dragging towards the middle of the game. This type of gameplay style works best with shorter games, but what kept me going is the amazing story. I love the characters so much, and the ending of the game was extremely impactful, and so I will remember it forever. Number 5 is a game that I kind of want to give number 1 because, like, I love cats and I love my cat and cats are cute and this game is cute and it's Stray. I love cats, so I'm biased, but cats are statistically one of the most entertaining creatures to watch. In Stray, we got to play as a cat, and it's the best cat simulator to date. Like a cat, you use your agility to traverse a post-apocalyptic cyberpunk-like city and do cat shit like knocking things down or scratching on the rugs. It's so freaking cute. This game also had some interesting puzzles that force you to think like a cat, which is really cool. The gameplay loop introduces different mechanics that don't overstay their welcome, providing some excellent pacing. Plus, the graphics are really amazing, the environments are super detailed, and the music is a bop. I can stare at my cat do nothing all day and be entertained, so this game was an extra treat. Number 4 is a game that took me by surprise. I would have never anticipated that this was a game that I would have fallen in love with, and that is Cult of the Lamb. Like, this game was an immediate buy just due to aesthetics. Like, what's not to love about cute little animals that are part of a satanic cult? What I didn't know is that the gameplay loop would innovate so damn hard and make me addicted. It's basically Animal Crossing for dark minds. It melds roguelike dungeon crawling with farming farm sim elements. This is one of those stay up until 3 a.m. mindlessly playing as if I was under the spell of this cute-ass satanic lambs cult. Number 3 is another surprise. It did wind up on my top 20 most anticipated games, but not my top 10. So I knew I was gonna like it, but I didn't know that I was gonna love it so much that it wound up in the number 3 spot, and that's Sifu. This game surprised me. Not only did it innovate with its implementation of an age system upon death, but it also redefined the beat 'em up formula and became one of my favorite beat 'em ups of all time. It pulls direct influence from martial arts, which really enhances the combat, but it did kind of make the story a bit too surface level. The art design is top tier though, and coupled with some amazing music. This game is really special, and I wish it was nominated for Game of the Year 2022 at the Game Awards. Not gonna lie, I feel like the next two are a little bit obvious, but I'm gonna tell you anyway. Number 2 is God of War Ragnarok. Kratos' saga has become an incredibly emotional experience that tugs at my heartstrings by developing a character that I've been familiar with for about 17 years. I was constantly laughing and crying in this game. It's a premium title that checks all of the boxes with top-tier combat, graphics, story, characters, beautiful environments, and impactful music. My only issue is that it feels extremely formulaic to other first-party Sony titles, and I really need a break from it. It's one of the best in its class, but it's held back by unnecessary RPG mechanics just like Horizon, and a lack of innovation. But not every game needs to be innovative, and I still absolutely adored it. Number 1, are you surprised? Come on, you know it. Just before I even say, you tell me. Put in the comments right now before I say anything if you know. If you're wrong, be honest about it. Don't delete your comment and recon. It's Elden Ring, of course. I mean, you know. When I became fatigued of open world games, Elden Ring somehow managed to refresh the genre. I haven't felt this much freedom in a game where my gameplay path and interpretation of the story was completely different from everyone else's who played. It improved the Souls formula by a tenfold, while creating an expansive environment where every inch felt like a painting, and every sound evoked an emotion without spouting a single word. This took the crown as my favorite game of all time. Yep, over The Last of Us. There you have it. So yeah, that was my top 10. Let me know in the comments what your guys' top 10 was. If you hate my top 10, go ahead, you can tell me you hate it. It's fine, you know? It's just my opinion, no big deal. But before we move on, I do want to let you guys know what other games I played, so you can be like, nah. She didn't play this game. This would have wound up on her list. And I want to know if you feel that way, okay? You better tell me. Okay, so I played the Callisto Protocol, which was one of my most anticipated games and wound up being a disappointment. I did a whole review on that. You can check it out if you want to. Gotham Knights, another disappointment. Stranger Paradise, Final Fantasy Origin, actually really fun combat, but the story was spoiled in the trailers. Ghostwire Tokyo, amazing aesthetic, but wound up being super open world formulaic and also redundant and boring. Scorn, it was a walking sim puzzle game, which I didn't expect. I mean, really cool art direction, really creepy and gross, but wound up being a disappointment. Actually, I didn't even finish Scorn. I probably should have put that in another section. But I played like 75% of it, so anyway. And the next game is also a game that I didn't finish, but I do plan to finish it. I'm working on the platinum for it. I don't know why. It's very boring, but it's Dying Light 2. And this was a real huge disappointment for me, especially coming from Dying Light 1 that I absolutely adored and had a blast with. I felt like Dying Light 2 just implemented so many things in its gameplay that just made it not fun, such as the stamina system, which made parkour like not good, and that game is like revered for its parkour. So yeah, anyway, maybe going for the platinum doesn't help, but I feel like even the story kind of sucks, and yeah, I'm not having fun. Another game that I started and I haven't finished, and I think I'm actually going to finish because I hear it gets better, is Kirby and the Forgotten Land. I actually didn't like the first few hours of this game. I felt like it was too easy, which Kirby games usually are, and that's fine, but it also just wasn't fun. It felt like a less good version of like, I don't know, Mario Odyssey or something. But I hear that it gets really, really good, so I do want to give it a chance. I just haven't gotten around to it. And I also played Call of Duty Modern Warfare Remake, which actually is absolutely gorgeous, but I just don't vibe with Call of Duty games anymore. Not in the way I used to back in the day when Modern Warfare 2 came out initially. And the games that I didn't play are Pokemon Arceus, Pokemon Scarlet Violet, Tiny Tina Wonderlands, The Quarry, Legacy, Neon White, Madison the Mortuary Assistant, Immortality, Sonic Frontiers, Xenoblade Chronicles 2, Rollerdrome, and really the only ones out of this list that I probably will try eventually is Neon White and maybe Sonic. And I didn't include The Last of Us Part 1 remake or the Crisis Core remake because those games were essentially just reskins of the old games and they didn't feel like they innovated much from the original. Oh my god, I forgot to mention, I also played like half of High on Life and I thought it was really funny in the beginning, but it kind of died down in the middle. But I did get some more guns and it got a little better as I went, so I'll let you guys know what I think about that, I don't know, someday maybe. But yeah, I don't think it would have fallen on my top 10 regardless, maybe like top 11 or 12? Okay, that's it. Looking forward to 2023, so I will be doing a top 10 most anticipated games of 2023. You can expect that in January. I'm very excited about 2023 as long as things don't get delayed, which they will. But yeah, anyway, let me know what you guys think. Let me know your top 10. Go ahead and shit on my top 10 if you want to, it's all good. If there's any game that like I didn't mention at all and you're like, bitch, you gotta play that, you can tell me, it's all good. It's all good. I wanna know, I wanna play it. All right guys, thank you so much for watching. Take care of yourselves and each other. Have a good new year.